Hey guys, Uncle Ray. Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. I don't always tell you what you want to hear, but I tell you what you need to hear to make an informed decision. None of this is financial advice, but we just got a lot of interesting news that just came out about Avalanche. And some of it is extremely positive, especially for the long term and onboarding new customers and adoption in NFTs and Web3. So I'm excited to share that information with you. Now, not all the information is positive, but overall it's extremely good. Now, is it time to buy Avalanche? Well, this is not financial advice, but I don't think so. And I'm going to take a look at the chart and I'm going to tell you why I'm looking to short Avalanche going into this coming week. Now, let's get into it. Now, if you are not familiar with Avalanche, definitely go to avalanche.network and surf around and definitely dive into Avalanche's ecosystem. It's very, very powerful. Now, what's the news? Well, the first bit of information and news is that their core wallet has gone mobile. So they have a mobile application. That's very, very positive. Now, also, Alibaba is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful, and the biggest platform for shipping, buying, and selling pretty much anything around the globe. Well, they just integrated with Alibaba Cloud. So then now that's part of the Avalanche ecosystem. That is really, really positive. I don't know the implications of that long term. I really don't. But here's what I do know is extremely positive, and if I'm right about the implications, it's going to be massive. Well, Avalanche just partnered up with Shopify. Now, you will be able to design, mint, and sell NFTs from your Spotify website, right? So if you are a Spotify vendor, you'll be able to do all that from your platform. Guys, that could be absolutely massive. And then it's going to educate the world about the real world utility of NFTs and smart contracts. And then when you see a platform like Spotify bring in that Web3 technology, everyone is going to get in line and follow. Now, that doesn't mean they will go in the same direction and maybe use Avalanche, but guys, that is extremely positive. And no matter what, it's positive for Avalanche, but for crypto and Web3 and blockchain in general, guys, that is great for adoption and onboarding and awareness for the future. So that's really big news in my opinion. Now, there's two other things that I want to bring to your attention that's not so positive, but they're not really negative. Now, Greyscale just dropped the Avalanche fund. Now, here's why I'm a little bit of concerned about that. Now, Greyscale is struggling across the board, but they brought on like 3 other projects to take its place. But here's my concern is Greyscale is a powerhouse and they have a big research department. They vet projects really, really aggressively. So my question is, did Greyscale uncover something that maybe is not so positive or bullish for Avalanche for the future? I don't know. Now, here's my thoughts, which brings me to the other point that is not so negative. Now, before I tell you that, overall, I'm extremely positive about Avalanche long term. I think it's a great L1 and it's got a great future ahead. That's my personal opinion. But one reason I'm thinking Greyscale may have dropped them is Avalanche's tokenomics are has high inflation. Well, in a bull run, when the economy's really strong and everything's going up and it's a bull market, it's not really that big a deal. But in a downturn like we're experiencing now, when you get the pressure of the tokenomics of the inflation, it's going to bring that project down, no matter what project it is. So that is kind of my thoughts on, and concerns. And I'm guessing that may have been why Grayscale said, hey, look, I don't see a turnaround for months and months. I don't want to hold Avalanche. That's just my thoughts. But long term, I'm extremely bullish. Now, that being said, I want to show you something. When we look at the chart, for the people that understand how to short sell, you definitely want to hear me out. If you have an interest, you want to hear me out. Now, I'm not for sure going to do this, but it's a good possibility. Now, the only reason that I'm not really 100% behind this is we got a lot of good or crazy information from the Fed and a lot of, reports coming out from the government this week. So anything could flip this market really, really fast. So we could get a short-term bounce that goes really hard, or it could just dump really fast. But that being said, here's my thoughts. I want you to look at this run up for 24 hours. Guys, that's a big, big move. Now, when you look at it on the weekly, it's already made a pretty strong move, and I'm guessing that was the Spotify announcement. If it wasn't, that's the people that already knew early. And the odds are that's the early people that already knew, and then this was the announcement, and it started to rally again. Now, based on where it's at right now, check this out, guys. This is a perfect setup for a short, because what I want a token to rally pretty hard. Actually, I like it to rally harder than this. But in this environment, I don't care what project it is, what token, or what news comes out, unless it's that the Fed pivoted. Anything that pumps for 2-3 days, definitely a week, I'm looking to short it, because nothing, and I mean nothing, is going to sustain a hard pump in this environment. At least that's my opinion, not financial advice. But let's look at this, guys. This is what, $12 and something. Now look, the odds are, starting the week, you're going to test that. You may not, but when it gets to test that high right there, right? When it starts to test that high, I'm going to look to dollar cost in on a short. So what that would look like, if it gets to here, let's just say you're going to take $1,000. I would short 250 right there. Hopefully it goes hard against me, because if it does like close above that, it could easily go higher. I would short another 25%. If it goes against me, I'll short another 25. And if it goes against me again, which I hope it does hard, I short it again. So I got one position total, but I broke it up into 25% at a time. And I believe no matter what, when it come down at the end of the week, you're probably going to be back down to here. Definitely going to test this low, but I would be surprised if at the end of the week, let's say Friday, unless there's some crazy news come out, this is going to be down in here. And I would have shorted it when it tests this high, and I'll short it all the way up 4 different times. That's kind of the plan, guys. Again, not financial advice, but if you are have an interest in maybe learning how to short sell, come back and follow me and see how this trade works out. If I short it for that last 4th time, depending on the news, I'll just close it. And actually, I take that back. Unless it runs hard against me, I'll just cut off my computer and come back and check it next week or the week after. Now, if it goes extremely hard because we got some crazy news, yes, I would close it out. But it's very rarely, very rare, that I close out a short position in this environment, because this environment is so ugly and so bad, anything could go a lot lower. But what I would really like to see is a bounce from these levels, because, guys, everything is oversold. And even in the worst of times, some of your biggest rallies come from a bear rally, right? Like, it just gets oversold so much, and then it takes off and runs, 15, 20, 30, 40%, but then it comes back down. So what I would like to see when I really short throughout the next part of, or the first part of this year, is I want to see some pumps, because, again, guys, what I want to see when I get bullish again, which long term can't be more bullish, but for me to start to want to really buy, like, for instance, if this was a bull market, I would buy when it broke that that number, that level. But in this environment, nothing is going to maintain a pump. It just can't do it, guys. So we may get a short, really aggressive pump in 2023 in the next couple of weeks. But, guys, pay attention. Do not, in my opinion, not financial advice, be very careful about FOMOing in, because you're not going to miss the boat until the Fed pivots. And if we're lucky, something's going to break, then the Fed will pivot, and that's when you really get to stacking. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Just wanted to bring that to your attention about Avalanche. That is big, big news, in my opinion, about Shopify. Long term, I am very positive for Avalanche's future. It's a great layer one, but I think it's going lower, and I'd be surprised if it doesn't go back and test the low of the year in the next couple of months, no matter what kind of news it gets, because I think something's going to break. The damage is done of what the Fed has already done, and no matter what, whether there's nothing the Fed can do right now that we will not get something really bad come out of it. In my opinion, the damage has been done. So even if the Fed pivots, we could easily go lower before we go higher. That's just my thoughts, guys. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments section. What do you think about Avalanche? Do you think this is a good short sale, or do you own it? Let me know. Now, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit that notification. Either way, hit that like button and come back and be part of this community, because, guys, we're going to figure it out, and this is the best time in 2023 in the history of man to stack real world projects with real world utility, because I truly believe that in the next couple of years, it's the biggest avenue, the biggest opportunity for the average person to change their financial future through crypto. I really believe that. But you got to educate yourself, stay in the game, pick real world projects with real world utility that have a big future. And, guys, this is going to be exciting. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Let me know what you think and come back, be part of this community. Take care.